distinguished guests, friends and family members of Delta Company, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, on behalf of Major General Colin Tooley and Command Sergeant Major Brian Haight of the United States Maneuver Center of Excellence, and Brigadier General Philip Kinnery and Command Sergeant Major Christopher Donaldson of the United States Army Infantry School, we welcome you to today's graduation ceremony. Thank you for taking the time to share this great day with us. Before we start today's ceremony, would the veterans in the audience please stand? Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in a round of applause for these veterans who have kept our country free in times of peace and conflict. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, honored veterans, and members of the proud infantry family, today we stand together to honor a remarkable milestone, 250 years of courage, sacrifice, and unwavering dedication by the United States Army Infantry. As we gather to celebrate this extraordinary anniversary, we reflect on the heritage of a force that is not only shaped by the history of our nation, but has also preserved its freedom one battlefield at a time. From its inception on June 14th, 1775, the infantry has stood as the backbone of our Army. Whether storming the beaches of Normandy, trudging through the frozen mountains of Korea, or braving the deserts of the Middle East, infantry soldiers have borne the brunt of a battle with valor and resilience. They have secured the victories that carved our republic, reunited a divided union, and defended democracy around the globe. The story of the infantry is one of quiet heroism. Infantry soldiers have faced overwhelming odds with an indomitable spirit, leaving enduring legacy of selflessness and courage. They fought on hallowed grounds of Yorktown, Gettysburg, and Antietam. They marched through the trenches of World War I, stood firm in the jungles of Vietnam, and operated in urban combat zones of Iraq and Afghanistan. Each step forward has been a step closer to protecting our shared ideals of liberty and justice. Today, as we celebrate this legacy, we also honor the adaptability of the infantry. From musket to M7, from conventional battles to asymmetric warfare, the infantry has evolved to meet the demands of ever-changing conflicts. These warriors are not just soldiers, they are leaders, diplomats, and defenders of hope in some of the world's darkest moments. To the next generation of infantry soldiers, we look to you to carry forward this proud legacy. You embody the Army's core values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. The challenges of the 21st century demand not only physical strength, but also the intellect and adaptability to navigate cyber threats, complex geopolitics in modern battlefields. This day is a reminder of what it means to be infantry, to close with and destroy the enemy, to take and hold ground, and to do so with determination and honor. It is also a day to remember those that gave the ultimate sacrifice, heroes whose names are etched into the very fabric of our nation's history. One of those leaders was 2nd Lieutenant Daniel K. Inouye, later Senator Inouye from Hawaii. On September 12, 2014, soil was spread on the parade field from San Teresa, Italy, and the parade field was officially named Inouye Field in his honor. In 1997, he was awarded the Medal of Honor for his heroic actions on 21 April 1945 at San Teresa. As a platoon leader in the 442nd Regimental Combat Team, and despite being critically wounded, 2nd Lieutenant Inouye, by his gallant, aggressive tactics and his indomitable leadership, led his platoon to advance through the fierce resistance and capture the heavily defended and fortified ridge known as Col Mostello outside the town of San Teresa, Italy. The purpose of today's ceremony is to recognize the commitment of the soldiers in formation today who have chosen to serve their country as infantry soldiers. This review is the last official formation of the training cycle. Not everyone successfully completes this difficult period of training, but those in formation today represent disciplined, motivated, and physically fit soldiers who exemplify the Army's 7 core values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. These soldiers are imbued with the warrior ethos and display the tenets of putting the mission first, never accepting defeat, never quitting, and never leaving behind a fallen comrade. This is an important day, and they can take great pride in their accomplishments. The ceremony marks the culmination of months of long and arduous training, the results of which are these superb infantry soldiers, prepared to take their places in infantry units around the world. Like you, we are proud of their accomplishments. Ladies and gentlemen, during the next few moments, there will be loud noises and smoke from the use of pyrotechnics on the far side of the parade field. The World War II Company Street serves as a constant reminder of the time-honored traditions and values of America's greatest generation, those infantry soldiers who walked before us. In just a few moments, out from the past will emerge our country's next greatest generation, today's infantry warrior. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Infantry Rifle Squad and Mortar Section, the foundation of the Army's decisive force and the embodiment of the warrior ethos. For 250 years, infantry soldiers have had the most challenging job of any member of the armed forces. They carry the fight to the enemy around the world. They are the standard bearer for all armies of the world, leading by example in the fight to defend freedom against ruthless terror. With the increased firepower and lethality of today's weapons, every infantry soldier must be trained to standard in over 200 tasks to defeat our enemies on any battlefield. The infantry soldiers graduating today are accomplished marksmen, able to engage the enemy day and night. They understand how to shoot, move, and communicate as a team. They are adaptable warriors who can fight as a mechanized force, from Strykers or Bradleys, from the sky as airborne or air assault, and whose training is the basis for our elite special operations warriors. Most importantly, they are patriots, who raised their right hand and swore an oath to God and country, to defend the Constitution of the United States against any enemy. Ladies and gentlemen, the Infantry Rifle Squad and Mortar Section. The soldiers placing the mortars in action are indirect fire infantry soldiers who received 2 weeks of mortar-specific training. As the only internal indirect fire support from the rifle company, these mortar soldiers placed the 60mm mortar system into action to provide indirect fire support to infantry squads, platoons, and companies, destroying the enemy, suppressing fires, and screening the rifle units, as well as enabling their fire and maneuver. The M224 Alpha 1 60mm mortar system is a muzzle-loaded, smooth-bore, high-angle of fire weapon that can be fired in the conventional or handheld mode to provide timely and accurate indirect fire with devastating results. The Mortar Section and Infantry Rifle Squad are wearing the equipment that they trained with and will carry into combat. Each squad has a gunner who carries a 60mm lightweight cannon, M8 baseplate, and the M67 sight unit. The mortar's maximum rate of fire is 30 rounds for the first minute and 20 rounds per each additional minute indefinitely. The maximum effective range is 3,490 meters. The 60mm mortar system weighs 38 pounds in conventional mode and 28 pounds in handheld mode. Each squad has an assistant gunner who carries the M170 Alpha 1 bipod and the M17 pistol as a primary weapon. The M224 Alpha 1 mortar fires 6 different types of ammunition: training, high explosive, white phosphorus, illumination, infrared illumination, and the mortar anti-personnel, anti-material round. The squad is led by a staff sergeant. They are armed with an M7 rifle. The M7 rifle is the latest evolution of service rifle, utilizing improved ambidextrous controls and the 6.8 by 51 Fury cartridge that is designed to defeat the latest in adversary body armor. The squad has 2 fire teams. Each fire team is led by a sergeant. They are also armed with an M7 rifle. This rifle is fully modular with an integrated receiver rail system that can mount the M157 fire control optic, infrared laser designator used to engage targets at night. Each fire team has 1 automatic rifleman. They are armed with an M250 squad automatic weapon. This system replaces legacy systems, providing improved firepower with a sustained rate of fire of 600 rounds per minute and weighing 6 pounds lighter than the previous weapon system, the M249 squad automatic weapon. Each fire team has 1 grenadier. They are armed with an M7 rifle and an M320 grenade launcher. It fires a variety of 40mm grenades to include high explosive, illumination, colored smoke, and buckshot. The M320 provides an invaluable indirect fire capability to the infantry squad. The remaining soldier in each fire team is the rifleman. They are armed with an M7 rifle and the M136 AT-4 anti-tank launcher. The AT-4 fires an 84mm shaped charge capable of defeating up to 14 inches of rolled homogeneous steel and breaching bunkers or masonry walls in urban structures. Additionally, each one of these soldiers is wearing the integrated head protection system with the AN-PVS-31 binocular night vision device. This night vision device allows the soldiers to see in low or no light conditions. Coupled with the laser designator on their weapon, they can place effective fire on all targets at night. On their torso, they are wearing the 2nd generation modular scalable vest, MSV, which consists of 4 armored plates capable of stopping small arms fire and fragmentation. Additionally, they are wearing ballistic eye protection, knee and elbow pads, and a water hydration system. Ladies and gentlemen, all members of today's rifle squad are from Delta Company, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment. This is the modern-day warrior, armed and equipped to fight and win anywhere, anytime, and in any type of terrain, against any enemy. These infantry soldiers are trained and ready to defend our country and preserve our way of life. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in a round of applause for the United States Army Infantry Rifle Squad. Ladies and gentlemen, now marching onto the parade field are the infantry soldiers from Delta Company, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment. The company commander is 1st Lieutenant Christopher Mars, and the company first sergeant is 1st Sergeant Justin Pilla. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the arrival of the official party. Chaplain Captain Kevin Moses, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, will offer the invocation.
Let us pray. Sovereign God, I invite your presence this morning for the graduation ceremony for Dog Company. First, I celebrate these soldiers standing before us who have fought hard these 18 weeks to complete their OSET training. Lord, I'm also thankful for the drill sergeants who diligently trained each one of them, strengthening the capabilities of our infantry, our Army, and ultimately our country. Next, Father, I ask that your favor will go before each of our graduates here today. Bless them, Lord. Make each of them mentally tough, physically strong, and morally straight as they each go on to their next assignments. Finally, Lord, we thank you again for the strength and perseverance given to make each one here successful. We celebrate these graduates standing before us today. In your mighty and great name, I pray. Amen.
The official party for today's ceremony consists of the 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Meyer, and the Battalion Sergeant Major, Master Sergeant Jose Martin.
Company, out, attention, present, all. Sir, the company is formed.
Post color.
Order, arm.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Sir, a person to be honored and colors present.
Post.
Present, arm. Detachment, present, arms.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the national anthem. Gentlemen, if you are not in uniform, please remove your headgear. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Detachment, order, arms. Order, arms. Ready.
The infantry soldiers graduating today come from many parts of the United States. The flags of the 50 states and 6 territories displayed at the museum symbolize the broad base of our national defense. The companies standing before you have conducted a turning blue ceremony on Honor Hill because blue is the color of the infantry. This ceremony culminated with each graduating soldier received the coveted symbols of the infantry soldier. the cross rifle insignia with the blue background discs, and the blue infantry cord. Turning blue signifies the rite of passage of these soldiers to carry on the finest traditions of the infantry. The infantry cross rifles, blue discs, and blue cord mark these soldiers as qualified to be the finest soldiers in the world, United States Army infantry soldiers. The soldiers most responsible for the training of these infantry soldiers are the drill sergeants, who are carefully selected by the Department of the Army. The drill sergeant campaign hat and badge have been a stoic symbol of professionalism and pride since 1962. At this time, the drill sergeant of the cycle for Delta Company, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, Drill Sergeant Colton Sheevely, will recite the Drill Sergeant Creed.
The Drill Sergeant Creed. I am a drill sergeant. I will assist each individual in their efforts to become highly motivated, well-disciplined, physically and mentally fit soldier, capable of defeating any enemy on today's modern battlefield. I will instill pride in all I train, pride in self, in the Army, and in country. I will insist that each soldier meets and maintains the Army standards of military bearing and courtesy, consistent with the highest traditions of the U.S. Army. I will lead by example, never requiring a soldier to attempt any task I would not do myself. But first, last, and always, I'm an American soldier, sworn to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. I am a drill sergeant. This will defend.
At this time, the official party will present the awards. The Drill Sergeant of the Cycle and Soldier of the Cycle will each receive the Army Achievement Medal. Receiving the Drill Sergeant of the Cycle Award from Delta Company, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment is Drill Sergeant Colton Sheevely from Coolidge, Arizona. Drill Sergeant Sheevely's spouse, Hannah Sheevely, is being presented flowers in recognition of the constant support given to Drill Sergeant Sheevely. The Soldier of the Cycle for Delta Company, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment is Specialist Blake Winkleman from Needville, Texas. Specialist Winkleman's follow-on assignment is the Ranger Assessment and Selection Program. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in giving these fine soldiers a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Meyer.
Good morning. I don't think we could have asked for a better day out here. On behalf of Major General Tooley, Command Sergeant Major Haight, Brigadier General Kinnery, Command Sergeant Major Donaldson, Colonel White, Command Sergeant Major Roney, distinguished guests, friends, family of the Rock Steady Battalion, and most importantly, to you, the soldiers of Dog Company 119 Infantry, I welcome you to the Maneuver Center of Excellence, Fort Benning, and the National Infantry Museum. We are honored and pleased to have you here to share this important milestone in these soldiers' lives. We appreciate your efforts to travel from all over the United States to share this event with us. The professionalism of the soldiers before you is a direct reflection of your patriotism and belief in the foundations that make this nation special. One of the most important things a soldier has is the support of our families and loved ones. These soldiers and everyone who serves our great nation owes our success to the love and support you provide. On behalf of the Rock Steady Battalion, Sergeant Major Martin and I thank you for entrusting your sons to our care. Last November, a group of civilians arrived at Fort Benning to begin infantry training. Today, after successfully completing all the requirements, these former civilians standing before you earned the title 11 Charlie U.S. Army Infantry Mortar Soldiers. These soldiers came from different states, territories, and backgrounds, Each had their own reason for volunteering and each their own expectations of what this experience here would entail. Over the course of the past 18 weeks of tough, combat-focused training, our drill sergeants molded these young men into lethal, confident, and fit infantry soldiers, ready to join the ranks of the greatest team our country has to offer and the finest fighting force the world has ever seen. None of this would be possible if it weren't for those of you in the stands raising and supporting these young men. And none of this would be possible if it weren't for the phenomenal drill sergeants who work countless hours providing world-class instruction and professional development to your soldiers. Please give our drill sergeants a round of applause. For over 250 years, America called on the infantry to fight at the front lines as the tip of the spear. Since the battles of Lexington and Concord, the nature of war hasn't changed. It remains a brutal contest of wills that requires the spirit of the bayonet instilled in the heart and soul of all infantry soldiers, past and present. While the nature of war hasn't changed, the character of war is changing. Today's modern battlefield is littered with sensors, small, cheap drones, artificial intelligence, and advanced missiles. Despite all this, infantry soldiers' task and purpose remains clear: to close with the enemy by means of fire and maneuver, to defeat or capture him, or to repel his assault by fire, close combat, and counterattack. To the infantry soldiers standing before me, over the last 18 weeks, you displayed the ability to move long distances, under heavy load, over broken terrain, to conduct an assault. As an infantry soldier, more will be expected of you than any other soldier. You will be held to a higher standard, as you should be. Never stop holding each other to that standard. Today, you take another step on your Army journey. But remember, this is only the beginning. Take pride in your accomplishments right now, but never quit striving for excellence. I am proud of you and confident that you are ready. One force, one fight. Follow me, brave and bold, rock steady.
Detachment! Post! March!
Ladies and gentlemen, the Soldier's Creed is the standard for all soldiers to live by. The Soldier's Creed helps soldiers understand that despite their very diverse backgrounds, all soldiers are warriors and members of a team. We invite all soldiers, both past and present, to stand and join us as the Soldier of the Cycle from Delta Company, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, Specialist Blake Winkleman, leads the Army's newest soldiers in the Soldier's Creed.
The Soldier's Creed!
I'm an American soldier. I'm a warrior, member of a team. I serve the people of the United States and live the armed values. I'll always place missions first. I'll never set the beat. I'll never quit. I'll never leave you for a comrade. I am disciplined, physically, mentally tough. Trained to position my warrior task drills. I'll always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself. I'm an expert and I'm a professional. I stand ready to deploy, engage, destroy the enemies of the United States of America in close combat. I'm a guardian of freedom, the American way of life. I'm a American soldier. Sir, the infantry soldiers from Delta Company, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, fully trained, prepared to take their places in infantry units around the world.
Pass the review.
Steady.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the soldiers pass to your front, we invite you to take pictures, but remain in your seats. When the American flag passes to your front, we ask that you rise and that the gentlemen remove their headgear. Once the American flag has passed your location, you may be seated. Additionally, we ask that you please remain in the stands until the soldiers have completely left the field. Delta Company, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment is commanded by First Lieutenant Christopher Mars from Simi Valley, California. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 1st Platoon is Clint Rosario from Dedito, Guam. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 2nd Platoon is Travis Blades from Woodlandville, Washington. The Color Sergeant is Staff Sergeant Justin Steele from Woodlawn, Illinois. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 3rd Platoon is Raekwon Rogers from Jacksonville, North Carolina. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 4th Platoon is Jonathan Myers from Florence, Kentucky. The First Sergeant for Delta Company, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment is First Sergeant Justin Pilla from Stuart, Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as the band plays the Army song. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the 198th Infantry Brigade Commander Colonel Jacob White and the Brigade Command Sergeant Major Daniel Roney, we thank you for attending today's graduation ceremony and joining us in continuing our proud legacy forever forward. You may now join your soldier in the formation area in front of the museum. As you exit the parade field, please stay off the grass. Have a safe journey home. Follow me.